See that right there? Just a happy dance. You know, do the happy dance when, you know, things turn out the way, what them shoulders, the way things are supposed to turn out. So you praise and applaud, so get that happy dance because months and months of storytelling played out perfectly. I'm talking about on some MCU type shit. If you don't know what I'm talking about, WWE Survivor Series War Games was last night. I'm ScooterRay, aka Scooter Blue, and let's discuss it. So, War Games for the uninitiated, two rings side by side, surrounded by a giant cage. 5 on 5. They alternate members to all 10 men or women are in the match. Once all parties are involved, that's when the match starts. Now, WWE's case, you could only win by pinfall or submission. They even said if you escape the cage, your team forfeits. Old rules used to be I quit as well. Like if you forfeit, that count as well. Very similar to Blood and Guts in AEW. Practically the same match. This match was invented by Dusty Rhodes way back yonder, and it's still here today. We had two War Games matches this Survivor Series, one men, one women. And to open the show up, you had Team Bianca, Team Damage Control, this War Games match. Team Bianca, of course, Raw Women's Champ, Bianca Belair, Asuka, Alexa Bliss, Michin, Mia Yim, and the returning Becky, the Man Lynch. Big time Bex, all of the above. Their team, Team Damage Control, Bailey, uh, WWE Women's Tag Champs, EO Sky, Dakota Kai, Judgment Days, Rhea Rips. Sorry, Rhea Ripley. Thank you, Tyler Breeze, with the Rhea Rips. Rhea Ripley, and you had Nikki Cross. In this match, the heels had the advantage. And surprisingly enough, Bianca started it off for her team. Dakota started it off. And of course, Dakota's coming in being in every women's War Games match that's been in WWE. Because remember, NXT had War Games for the past 5, 6 years, somewhere up in there. And so every women's War Game, Dakota Kai has been in some form or fashion. Except for that one where she betrayed Tegan because she didn't really actually get in the match, but you get the gist. Wait, did she get in that match? I can't remember. I think they just waved her off and called it a day. Yeah, I don't think she actually got in. But besides the point, Bianca started it off, Dakota started it off, and of course, it alternated. I can't remember who was all who, but I know Rhea was the last of the Team Damage Control. Becky was last of Team Bianca. Good match. Solid, especially since Bianca, Rhea, almost every woman in this match except for Asuka and Bailey have been involved in War Games. And Bliss. But I think every other woman has been involved in War Games, so they kind of had a little familiarity with it. And of course, when Mia Yim entered, she threw in all the weapons. And that's when all the excuse me, trash can lids, chairs, kendo sticks, I think tables too, but all that came into play when Mia Yim came because they refer to her either as Michin, which is crazy in Korean, or Mia Yim. So either or. But I think she kind of has that Seth Rollins thing. Because I think even when the announcer announced her, they said Michin, Mia Yim. So Yeah. Uh, it was some spots. I mean, of course, you had moments where Bliss and Nikki Cross had their little thing. Damage Control had their thing with Becky and Bianca. I'm surprised Rhea and Mia didn't really like. They went at it, but they wasn't really involved like that. But you had some good spots. You had some good moments. Ultimately, it ended with Bianca catching Bailey in the KOD. Kai and Sky were on a table, and Becky jumped off the top with a leg drop. Boom, 1, 2, 3. Team Bianca gets that W. Um, Kind of makes me wonder where this goes from here, because I'm pretty sure, of course, the Mia Yim Rhea Ripley thing is still there because of the whole OC versus Judgment Day. But does this want to put Becky in title range again? Does she now go against Bailey? Did they start running the program also too? Because it made it seem like that Rhea was going to challenge Bianca at some point. So it kind of makes me wonder, where does this go from the ladies with her? Because all of these ladies were Raw superstars. So that's even crazy to think that all the ladies in this match was Raw superstars. Hmm. So it kind of makes me wonder where they're going to go from here, especially since they have from now until Royal Rumble, because this is the last WWE Premium Live event. Yeah, you still have Deadline with NXT, but they got rid of day one, so we won't get another pay-per-view. Sorry, Premium Live event until Royal Rumble, which is January 28th. So kind of makes me wonder what they start doing with that women's title picture between now and Royal Rumble. But Team Bianca gets that dub. Next up, we have AJ Styles of the OC, of course, accompanied by Gallows and Anderson, versus Finn Balor of the Judgment Day, who was accompanied by Dominic and Damien. But yeah, sorry. Um, I don't think these two can have a bad match against each other. Let's just go ahead and put that out there. Uh, they did the damn thing. And what also made it great too was that since it was only 5 matches, you can tell the singles matches had to kind of stretch to make it work. And this match definitely worked with having that stretch time. Like, it wasn't moments where it was like, oh, okay. This definitely felt like a legit contest between these two could last that long. It didn't feel like, oh, this was stretched because of time. But they was hitting move after move, signature after signature. Uh, I thought it was interesting that the whole Gallows and Anderson fight Dominic and Priest happened mid match, because there was still a lot more match after that. But ultimately, it ended with AJ hitting that phenomenal forearm on Finn. 1, 2, 3. I highly doubt this feud is over with, because it wouldn't seem right to not have Judgment Day, the four, versus the 4 members of OC in an intergender mixed tag 4-on-4 extravaganza brawl beef. But yeah, so I seriously doubt this feud is over with, because it would be a shame not to have a huge blow off between these two teams, especially since the OC recruited Mia Yim for their re-elution. So, but chef's kiss to this match. Next match, SmackDown Women's Championship. Champ Ronda Rousey versus Shotzi. Of course, Ronda being accompanied by Shayna Baszler. Story, of course, going into this. Shotzi won a 6-pack challenge. Got the title shot. They now were starting to basically torture Shotzi to basically show that she's not on Ronda's level. This, that, and the third. Ronda had recruited Raquel to basically be with her until they basically injured Raquel, and they amplified the injury Wednesday, and they say Raquel, not Wednesday, sorry, Friday, and they said Raquel has a broken elbow. So I don't know if it's an injury she already had, and WWE, of course, they amplify it more to make it worse. But apparently, she has a broken elbow, so she couldn't be out there with Shotzi. But this was, I don't know, this was an interesting match because I really don't know how I truly feel about Ronda being champ because they make her such they make her basically female Brock Lesnar. Let's just put it out there. They make her female Brock Lesnar. So I don't know if this is going to be one of those situations to where it truly ends with Shayna ultimately turning on Ronda and was like, I want that belt, fam. And then this will finally be Shayna getting the women's championship. Because considering who SmackDown has on their roster, unless her and Liv run it back again, and Liv potentially gets it back, Natalia is out. I just listed all that other talent that's on Raw. So, no offense to Aaliyah, no offense to Lacey Evans. Who else? No offense to any of those other ladies like that, but if we're talking about somebody dethroning Ronda, Shayna would be the more likely choice. Now, at some point, that it was a part of me. No, I'm gonna just say this: they were in Boston, and for all you wrestling fans out there, know I was getting it. There was a part of me that thought that once that match was over with, that Sasha Banks music was gonna hit. Make sure you hear me out there. There was a part of me that thought Banks music was gonna hit, and it was gonna be like, oh shit, the boss is back. But it didn't happen. So maybe she's truly not coming back. Or maybe she might be in the Rumble. Damn, they gonna really sell her for that long, goddamn. Maybe her and Naomi might come back in the Rumble. Yeah, big possibility. Unless they're truly done with the company. But yeah, Ronda gets it. I'm hoping personally this leads to Baszler turning on Ronda or something, and Baszler just gets that belt. So finally, Baszler can have her run as champ because I don't see how you had such this intimidating person who was NXT Women's Champ, dominant as fuck. Then when she first came into WWE, she was dominant as fuck, where she eliminated every woman at the Elimination Chamber, and she's only been tag team champ twice, or was it 3 times? Was it 2 with Nia Jackson, 1 with Natalia? However, how they did it, but still, like fam, give Baszler a title run, please. Next up, we had a banger, certified United States Championship triple threat. Seth freaking Rollins, the almighty Bobby Lashley, and Austin Theory. There's a lot going into this. Of course, Austin Theory had to fail cash in on Seth for the United States Championship. Bobby is still pissed that he lost his title to Rollins. And Rollins is just like, bam, I'm just going to elevate this title because this is the only singles male title we have. So this is now the biggest title on Raw. And that's what Seth is trying to elevate the United States Championship with. And this right here was a excellent triple threat. You had the beef boy in Bobby, then you had medium beef with Theory, and then you had, I guess, light beef with Rollins, and they put on a show. And this, of course, once again, one of those matches where, of course, they had to make it a little bit longer because triple threat, and pass up that time. Yes, this was a match. This was a good match. Uh, the moves, the false finishes, the saves, the way they creatively did it, since you had three different styles in the ending, chef's kiss of an ending. Bobby tried to get Theory and Rollins in a double Almighty, what's it called? Not the Almighty Lock. Whatever Lashley's finisher was called now that I just totally left my mind. Hurt Lock. Tried to get them both in a double Hurt Lock. They backed them into a corner. Lashley tries to spear Theory, catches a super kick from Rollins. Rollins hits Theory in the back of the head with that rolling forearm to the back of the head. The way they're positioned, Rollins was like, so he comes from the corner, jumps off of Theory's back, stumps Bobby. Theory tries to throw Rollins out. Rollins reverses it. He gets Rollins, so they end up getting on the top rope where, Rollins does his suplex into the Falcon Arrow. So right when he does the suplex off and he picks up Theory for the Falcon Arrow, Lashley spears Rollins, which in turn he kind of brain busters a little bit of Theory. But Theory still had the wherewithal to roll over to Rollins. 1, 2, 3. Theory is now two-time United States Championship. Now, the finish was magnificent, but of course, some of the criticism that's been on the internet is like, well, why did y'all do it this way? And he lost his money in the bank briefcase. He could have still been champ because it could have mirrored when Rollins had the briefcase, because he won the United States Championship still with the briefcase. But yeah, this is how it is, and it was beautiful. It was beautiful. Now, remember earlier that I was hitting that happy dance, because this is why right here. Months and months of storytelling. I love it when a plan come together. Let the shoulders work. If you have been following anything dealing with the bloodline, you know honorary Uso Sami Zayn and Jey Uso does not see eye to eye. This past SmackDown, Uso overheard Zayn having a conversation with KO. He tried to press Zayn for it. Zayn, he tells Roman at Survivor Series. Roman was like, look, I'll talk to him. They had a conversation where Zayn came clean about everything and was like, look, I'm part of the bloodline. I am here for y'all. This match, Team Bloodline, of course, the undisputed Universal World Champion of the Galactic Free World, Roman Reigns, versus the undisputed Universal Tag Team Champion of the Galactic Free World, the Usos, Honorary Uso, Sami Zayn, and Solo Sikoa, versus the Brutes, Sheamus, Ridge Holland, Butch, along with Drew McIntyre and KO. The good guys, Team Brutes, had the advantage in this one. To start off this one, it was Jey Uso and Butch. Butch, of course, has been in, I think they said this was his second, third. Has he been in all of them too? Maybe four. Because the only ones who had experience in here was Butch and KO. Those were the only ones that had experience in war games. And of course, technically, Paul Lee, because him and his Dangerous Alliance back in the day. But as far as actually wrestling in one, and then shout out to Roman being the first man or person, period, to sit down in the cage, because he had a whole stool in his cage sitting there looking like a boss battle. Because when Ridge was second to go in, and then Jimmy was going to go in, Roman was like, nah, Zayn, you go. To make them two, since they don't like each other, Um, but there was moments throughout, especially when everybody and all that was getting involved. There was a moment where Zayn pulled Jay Uso out the way, and he was like, "I told you, I got you." And Jay was like, "Whatever, fam." There was another moment where Jay Uso accidentally super kicks Zayn. There was a moment where they started arguing and damn near fighting, and Roman was still in the cage, just looking like these damn children. But it was some battling going on. It was some fighting. They had moments. This was a match to see for real because of the storytelling, action, all of that. In the last like 5 to 10 minutes, mwah, writing at its best from WWE. KO hits the stunner on Roman right when the ref was about to count three. Zayn grabs the ref, and KO is looking at Zayn like, "For real, fam? Like this is what we doing, my guy? This is what we doing, my G." And then uh they squaring off. Jay tries to go for a super kick. Owens catches the foot. Zayn hits him with a low blow. And it was like, oh no. KO stumbles to the corner. Roman's recovering from the stunner. He looks up at Zayn and was like, yeah. Zayn hits the haluva kick on KO and the imagery of it because Owens kind of stumbles into Zayn and Zayn was like holding him. And then Jay was looking like, and then he just lays KO down and was like, Jay hits the flying oos. 1, 2, 3. The bloodline gets the W. And then the moment the fans and everyone who was invested in this storyline happens. Yes, Roman gives Zayn a hug. And right after that, Jey Uso finally embraces the honorary Uso. He even did one of them hug lifts. And it was like the crowd went dumb. The crowd went dumb for that moment. And it was like, it finally happened. The honorary Uso finally won over Jey Uso. And now the bloodline is strong, baby. They here, especially with them winning war games, they here. So it kind of makes me wonder what direction everything is going to happen with them now, from now until it's a Royal Rumble. But mwah, thank you for this writing. Thank you for this storytelling. And I'm glad it played out the way it played out. Where they go from here, hopefully they don't shit the bed. But from what they did then up until now, best storyline in wrestling. So now, of course, for those who's been keeping up, Dizzle retained his predictions championship. He decided that he wasn't going to do it collectively with Survivor Series Deadline, Winter is Coming, Final Battle. He was like, I'm going to defend it every show. So, and thanks to him picking Theory, that cheeky bastard, he snuck on out with the championship. But I'm coming for it. That way I can be 4-time champ. 4-time. But Survivor Series, check it out. If you've seen all the pictures and images and videos and spoilers, whatever, check it out anyway. I'm your boy Scooter Lou. Shouts out to Lip Dizzle, Nigga Bombastic, Juggernaut097. Thank y'all for tuning in to this hot tag. And like we always do it, tag the fucketh out.